What's up YouTube? This is your boy Serge with another video. In this video I want to go through some images that I made back in 2022. Towards the tailwind of COVID, I was lucky enough to visit Colombia, which is where my mother lives. My mom lives in Rionegro, which is about 45 minutes outside of the city of Medellin. I've been traveling to Medellin my whole life. My parents used to send me there every summer when school was out. I lived there on several occasions as a kid as well. So as you can see behind me, I have a Colombian flag, so I'm very proud of my culture, my heritage. It's something that's really important to me. And now as an adult, to be able to go back and bring a piece of it with me through photography, I mean, it means a lot to me. So COVID was pretty rough. It was rough for everyone. It was a tough time. And from 2019 to 2022, I didn't really move anywhere. And I did no traveling. So once I felt comfortable to travel, Colombia was the first place I went. So I want to do a voiceover over some images, kind of show you what I did. All these pictures and many more are included in my first self-published photo book. It's titled Recuerdos en Antioquia. So if you like this video and you're interested in a book, please go to the description. I'll have a link there. You can get your copy. This is my very first self-published book, like I mentioned before, and I'm really proud of it. So I hope you like these pictures, and I hope you're able to purchase a book. And if you do, please give me any feedback in the comments. Leave me feedback on the images. Let me know what you think, what I could have done better, or if you have any constructive feedback that's respectful, I'll definitely reply to it. So here we go. Let's go ahead and jump into these images. Okay, so in these images, you're going to see several cows, and in my book, you're going to see a lot more if you purchase a book. So in this part of Colombia, this part of outside of the city, the department or state is called Antioquia. Antioquia is a mountainous region. The capital is Medellin. Rionegro is where the airport is, which is 45 minutes outside of Medellin. There's a lot of neighboring towns like Llano Grande, La Ceja, which where I was baptized as a kid, El Retiro, which a lot of my childhood memories were in El Retiro. I have family that's lived there. They've lived there over 40 years. But Rionegro is a place that's pretty much way more remote than the city of Medellin. So there's this first image, you see a cow on the right-hand side. You see some new construction in the back. If you look really closely, you will also see a crane. So this is pretty much an image of what is to come, what was there before, and what's happening. It's a very beautiful area. This is right in front of where my mom lives. My mom lives in a high-rise building, which is fairly new. All of that used to be farmland, but now you have all these buildings. And sadly, now in 2025, 3 years after I took these images, this whole area where the cows once were is now filled with new construction and high-rise buildings. So I didn't know. Well, I had an idea that that's what was happening. This second image is just two cows. I feel like it's such a beautiful image. I really love this picture. This third picture, you kind of see like Nuevo Proyecto, and it's pretty much Nuevo Proyecto aquí. So new project here. So look how the buildings are gonna look. The cows there, like, man, what's going on? So you feel kind of bad, but you also see the environmental impact that it's that all this construction is having on the locals, the local land, and everything that's going on there. So a lot of people in the area, although they're very friendly, some may be a little resentful because their home is changing, it's becoming more populated, it's becoming more expensive. So that's pretty understandable. This next image is pretty much the same thing as the last one. In this next one, when you go down the hill and you get into the more residential area, these homes are, you would say, extracto 1 or 2. These are like low income housing. It's exposed brick. Some of the roofs are made of plastic or aluminum. The people there are very friendly, very nice. As I mentioned before, I was using a Ricoh GR3, so you can't really, it's a very low-key camera. No one ever said anything to me. Although, if you do street photography in Colombia, just know that it's not a thing. People are not used to having a camera in their face. People are not, so My suggestion is you learn a little bit of Spanish because people may question you, people may talk to you. What helps me is that when I take a photo, I smile at people. Um, I do speak Spanish and I also have a Colombian accent. So I do have conversations. I have conversations with people sometimes while I'm taking their picture, or I'll say hello to them and I'll smile. Again, people are very friendly. Um, but thank God for the Ricoh GR3. Very low key, very small camera, the size of like a iPhone mini, 12 or 13 pretty much, even smaller than that. Fits in your pocket. Such a great camera. I love that camera. So I used it in black and white mode, and these are the pictures that I got from it. Anyways, moving on to the next picture. Same thing, some nature mixed in with some, what's to come. This next image, this next focus is kind of like religious figures. In Colombia, they're very Catholic. So, seeing like the back of this sign on the road with like a Jesus painting in the back, I was like, that's insane. Like, why is that there? But it's just religious imagery is everywhere, on buses, on the road. I mean, it's pretty cool. This next image, when you go down the hill into the residential area, this is just a random Virgin Mary statue with little baby Jesus on there. It's actually really nice. You see the plants and it's just beautiful. And this is right in front of someone's home. Like, the house is like decent, it's not all that, but this just makes it beautiful. It looks, it's just a little out of place, but it's beautiful, and I really admired it. This next picture, this is kind of like a shack or like a workstation, a work area. I'm not, it looks like they chopping wood there, but again, you see a painting of Jesus there, very random, out of place, but it caught my eye. This next image is of a blanket with the Jesus's face on it. Again, very, you get to lay down and you lay down with the Lord. The Lord is protecting you in your sleep. This next image, this guy makes the best ices in Rionegro. He's there at the park every single day. I was there for 2 months, and for 2 months I went there twice a day. Twice a day I bought an icy. For those who live in New York or visited New York, New York has really good ices. But I guarantee you that the ices in Rionegro are the best icy you'll ever have. I like that he has a COVID mask, and then you see like the Virgin Mary little card with a prayer in the back. You can't see the prayer, but I saw it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's like a blessing on his business and that he does well. But I thought this was a great picture. I really like it. I wish the sky wasn't so blown out. When you're shooting in black and white, it's kind of tough, and that's something that you need to be careful with the highlights. Because once you miss the highlights, very difficult to recover them. Sometimes they're just unrecoverable. So I could have done something better there. But you live and you learn. So I'm going to show you pictures I'm happy with, and then I'll show you pictures that maybe I could have done something better. This next picture, it says Tradición de Barrio, which means neighborhood tradition. And then again, you see a Jesus painting. So it's like, oh, we're hood, but we're also Catholic. What's up? So I thought that was pretty cool. I love that picture. In this next image, you see a payphone, and it says Mejor Juntos, which means better together. Then you see a kid in his school uniform on the right hand side, and then on the left, what it says about religion. I'm not going to read it or repeat it just because I'm trying to keep this YouTube channel rated G for the kids. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. The Mejor Juntos, better together, and then that with that separation. Very punk rock, very like graffiti, writing on walls. Those are the kind of things that kind of catch my attention when I'm photographing. This next image is, I tried to get really close and get a really good picture, but this is as close and as good of a picture as I got. Mind you, I am in Colombia, so it's very suspicious for you to go up to people who are armed, military, police, or people doing pickups at banks. These gentlemen were security guards that were picking up money at a bank. So this is as close as I got because I wasn't trying to get shot. But I really like this picture. I like the hand like on the shotgun, and there's a lot of empty space, so it's not a great photo. Technically, it's pretty crappy photo, but it's still, the shotgun hand, I guess the posture and the body language is what does it for me, but I admit it's not a great photo. This next picture, it says Armate, Capucha, which pretty much means arm yourself, and Capucha, it could be a nickname for somebody. But so it's like arm yourself, and then the gentleman has a um, COVID mask and a little dog. That was by accident. I was just trying to take a picture of the graffiti, and then he just walked up, and I was like, oh man, perfect. So made the image. Again, this next image on the right hand side, see what it says there on the writing. I thought that was pretty interesting. Again, this is like very low income housing. What you see, like the aluminum, the exposed brick. So, you know, we're in the hood right here. This next image, you see a bus and two people kind of hanging out of the doors. Every bus has an ayudante, which is a helper. So when you get on any bus, the driver just drives, and then the ayudante comes and collects the money from you, gives you change if you need change. So one of these guys, not sure which one, maybe both, are the ayudante. The next image is pretty much the same thing on another bus. The gentleman that's the helper, he's just kind of hanging out. So if you're in the middle of the street somewhere, you need to stop the bus, you whistle or you flail your hand, and that guy will tell the bus, hey, yo, stop, someone wants to get on. And it's kind of fun. This guy, he's working. I'm not sure if he's an electrician or what's he working on down there, but just walking by and seeing him pop up with his little white helmet, that was pretty interesting. Again, not a great photograph, but it's not every day you see someone come out of the ground like the Ninja Turtles, you know what I mean? So I took the picture. These next few images, I walk by these guys every single day. They're cutting down these enormous trees down the hill from where my mom lives. So every day I took an image of them, and I thought it was pretty cool. This next picture is of the police officers on their horses. There's another picture that I like. I wish I would have got closer. But again, you know, when you're in Latin America, you got to be careful with police officers, with military. You don't want to get too close. You know, it's not the same like in the States. You know, in the States, you can kind of do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want to cops, and you can be disrespectful and do whatever. Not in Latin America, you got to be careful. So I took a couple of images. This is my favorite one, and I kept it moving. That's it. These next few images, I made this at El Parque de Rionegro. This is where the church is, the plaza, the supermarket. This is where they do farmers market on the weekends. There's also a museum there. It's pretty cool. So if you visit the area, you definitely want to check out Parque Rionegro. There's a group of teens doing just breakdancing, you know? So it's pretty cool to see like graffiti, breakdancing. Like it's so hip hop and like punk rock too. So I don't know. I feel like Latin America is having like that resurgence of hip hop, rap, b-boys. Like, man, it's awesome. It's Colombian Medellin is probably going through what I imagine the Bronx being like in the 80s and 90s, you know? So it's pretty cool. It's you know, it makes you feel home. This next image, the gentleman is wearing like a traditional sombrero, the colors, the tucked in shirt. This is how like the old school men in Colombia dress, especially in Antioquia. This next picture, so this gentleman has a physical disability. He's like leaning on his crutch. On one hand, he has a cigarette. He's looking down. In this image, you know, like I felt like I related at the time that I was in Colombia. The reason why I went was because I felt like I was going through a lot of depression. I felt extremely anxious and I had panic attacks, things that I have never dealt with ever in my life. And I don't know, just seeing him, I felt like that loneliness, that aloneness. And although you couldn't look at me and tell what I was going through, I felt like I was really going through it emotionally and, you know, mentally at the time. This is probably an image that I wouldn't make again. And the reason why I show it is because I feel like when you're a street photographer or a documentary photographer, I do think it's important to have a moral compass. At the time, my moral compass felt like it was okay to take this image. Now that I've grown a little bit, I've matured a little bit, not just as a person, but as a photographer, this is probably a picture I wouldn't take again, only because I didn't have a conversation with the guy. I didn't ask him for permission, and it just doesn't feel right. So I think that it's important for me to say that and, you know, share that with you. I know there's people that take photos of like homeless people and like drug addicts, and they'll say, well, this is documentary photography, this is what I see, so this is what I do. And that may be true, but just because you could doesn't mean you should. Moving on to the next image, I thought this picture was pretty cool of the pigeons. It reminded me of New York. You know, at this point in my Colombia journey, I was thinking about Brooklyn and being like, oh man, I wonder what's going on in the city. This next picture, I really like this one. This is like inside a mall, and I was I was on my way out, and I just had to get closer to this gentleman. Again, this is how traditional Colombian Antioqueño men dress, with the hat, button-down shirt, tucked in, with the belt, with the nice shoes, the cane. Like, this man looks fresh, he looks clean, he looks like he's ready for business. You heard? And then this next picture, I just really like the car. There's nothing special about it. The framing is a little off. Should have been a little bit to the left and a little bit more up. Technically, this is not a great image, but I thought the car was pretty cool, so that's why I'm showing it to you. But yeah, anyways, I hope you like the images. If you do like these pictures, please visit the description. My first self-published photo book, Recuerdos en Antioquia, includes all these pictures plus many more. There's over 140 to 150 photos in that book, so you get for what you pay for, and you're gonna get a whole lot of pictures for a pretty low price. So leave some comments, let me know what you think about these pictures. Let me know if you have any thoughts, concerns, suggestions, any respectful, constructive feedback. I'll take it, I'll reply to it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like these kind of videos. I would love to do more, whether it's work that I've done in the past or my current FDNY firefighter projects. Just let me know your thoughts. But thanks again for watching this video, and just go out there and make some good pictures.